Now, you became involved with the Face It research project in 2008.
Yeah.
Can you remember how you first heard about that research project?
So through the support that Alex was giving me from quite early on, she at some point she asked me if I wanted to be involved in the Face It project, and I was very, very keen to do so because initially, when I sought help in Devon, which is where I live, there actually wasn't any face to face specialist help available. So, through my GP at the time, I was offered a counsellor who dealt with divorce, and I knew that that wasn't any good for me. I needed specialist support. So, between Dr. Alex and when she suggested that I could be involved with Face It, I was very, very keen to be involved in the programme and see what it was all about.
So, Naomi, what can you remember about the Face It approach?
So it's a very comprehensive, user-friendly, extensive, supportive programme that people can use by themselves in the comfort of their own homes.
Mm-hmm. And are there any particular bits of the content that really sort of stick in your mind from when you did it?
So yeah, lots of sections, and one of them, to give an example, is it talks about assumptions that people can make. So when an example of what I experienced was I was in a supermarket queue and negative thoughts were creeping in because somebody was staring at me, and Face It at Home teaches you to turn a negative thought into a positive thought. So I had to sort of teach myself, and it helps you teach yourself that you can turn that negative thought into a positive thought. And rather than me thinking that they were staring at my scars on my face, I was training myself to think that they might have been looking at thinking I had a nice dress or a nice jumper or a nice hairstyle.
Yeah, so that allowing yourself to consider there may be other options for why they're staring, and it's not always necessarily about your appearance.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
So, having completed the 8-week program, what impact do you feel it had on your life at that particular point in time?
It gave me the tools and confidence to basically deal with upsetting and uncomfortable situations that I was finding myself in.
Mm-hmm.
So they are, it's so supportive and so extensive and so user friendly. So all the general negative experiences that I was having at the time, it helped to support me in those difficult challenges and times moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then how has that material helped you or impacted on you since? So that's 15 years ago. How has that changed your life, if at all?
So the great thing is with Face It at Home is people can go back to it and access it for further support time and time again, which is what I did. So if I needed, for example, one of my favourite parts of the programme, it mentions a fear ladder. So it's facing your fears. So I used the fear ladder, which, to explain in simple terms, if someone has a fear, which mine is needles. So if I put, say, for example, seeing someone having an injection or myself having an injection for real there and then, that would be number 10. And number 1 would be something like walking into a pharmacy. So it's 1 to 10, and it's building up doing the easier steps first, and it Face It at Home teaches you how to face your fears, and you don't have to reach number 10, but if you're struggling with whatever issue it might be, it just teaches you how to take those small steps, which I've not known to do before, and deal with those situations as they come along.
Absolutely. So I think it's interesting because that is designed to support with things like going out socially.
Yeah.
In your context, it was more medically focused, but actually really important because multiple surgeries were part of your recovery process.
No, absolutely. So every time I had to undergo further surgery, it was kind of a step back to move forward. So each time, obviously, it impacted with more stitches, and again, the anxiety about my appearance and my face. So, very much so, each surgery was kind of a step back to move forward and heal eventually.
Mm-hmm.